Today on the Charge Up, softball went on a hot streak this weekend, while baseball lost their undefeated status, and women's lacrosse is also looking to get back on track from a losing streak. We'll also have an exclusive interview with Chargers track and field star Riley Kanies. It's all coming up on the Charge Up. Hello and welcome to the Charge Up. I'm James Cassidy and with me today is Chris DiGeronimo, Devin Maida, and Eric Nybro. And guys, the streak has finally come to an end. Chargers baseball couldn't hold on to their undefeated record, losing to Assumption College on Saturday 7-5. Devin, what happened to the Chargers?
Sadly, their bullpen failed them, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the bullpen did have a 9.56 ERA over the past 4 games. That's not going to win you any games when your bullpen does you like that, but still not big of a deal because we had David Palmer still tearing it up. He did have a shaky game for him. Still went 7 innings strong, 0 earned runs. He gave up 6 hits, which is more than he usually does. But you know, still gotta love what he's doing there. He got the dog the other day. Can't forget about that. He's 5-0. He had 5 Ks, and they're still staying strong. I mean, it's sad to see the streak end, but you know, the streak, can't forget about the streak. The streak is ridiculous. I mean, it's hard to start a season off 16-0 or 15-0, whatever they were.
Yeah, I think when you do win that many games consecutively, it's inevitable that you have the hiccup, you have a bad day, you know. So I think they have to come back together, regroup, and then win another 16 straight.
It might be a little hard, but hey, they can do it. They've already proven that they can. Tim Kennedy, another good start for him. The starting pitching has been really good for the Chargers so far. I'm really impressed with how they've been pitching.
Yeah, he left the game with 5-1 lead. So, and then obviously the bullpen didn't help him out, but he didn't get off to a good start, and it was a good overall performance.
Yeah, I mean, you still need to have your starting pitching going because that's what's going to win you games, as we've seen. I mean, only 2 losses compared to the 17 wins that's great. So, and you'll take that. I mean, they're in for the long haul. And these 2 losses, see if they're tested, and they still got plenty of game left. And yesterday, our boy PJ went 3 for 4 at 2 RBIs. The offense had a nice bounce back game in game 2 yesterday.
Yeah, James Myers has 7 hits over the 4 games, so that's pretty productive.
Yeah, I think really for the baseball team, I think the pressure is going to come off. You know, They had that streak. It's always just going to come off, and you're going to see it with the bats. The bats are going to start hitting better, I feel, and the pitching staff should still be fine. No worries.
And again, as we've seen through that streak and even in these couple of games over the weekend, this team still has got a great lineup that is a great mixture of small ball and power ball hitting. They have some really guys that can get on base and cause some damage through their speed and then just getting home. Who are some players that you guys think can really be dangerous with that kind of style?
I think Tom Walraven is a big factor because he gets on base, he draws walks, he hits the ball. So overall, his performance really contributes to the success of the offense.
I think Billy Huber and Matt Chamberlain at the top of the order really set it up for the middle half that's been hitting so well this whole season.
Very true. And in that middle of that lineup, we still have Joe Kaiko, the 2-time Anytime Player of the Week already this year, in the early season, who's shown that all he does is drive in runs this year. And hopefully there will be many more Anytime Players of the Week to come.
We want more dingers.
More dingers and more W's.
Of course. The guys will travel up to crosstown rivals Southern Connecticut State on Wednesday, and tune in next week when we're scheduled to talk to head coach of the Chargers baseball team, Chris Solano. Senior Riley Kanies was the only New Haven Charger to qualify for this year's NCAA D2 Indoor Track and Field Championships. After winning the NE10 Championship in the 400-meter dash and the New England Championships in the 500-meter race, we now go to Chris DiGeronimo, who's going to talk to Riley as she gets ready for the outdoor season.
Riley, thanks for being with us today. How did it feel winning the NE10 Championships in the 400-meter dash and the New England Championships in the 500-meter dash?
It felt really great. I never really expected myself to be winning a title by senior year, so it was a little unexpected, but at the same time, we've been planning and preparing for this moment. So it was really great, and I'm ready to move forward into outdoor.
Now, as you said, you had a lot of success in the indoor season. Now, how do you continue that success now in the outdoor season?
I think it's a lot of just the little things, like making sure that I'm eating right, that I'm sleeping, that I'm mentally focused. I think that the mentality going into outdoor season is that, you know, we're not going to settle for just being mediocre, and we're not going to settle for just a good indoor season, but we're really just moving forward, feeling confident going into every single race, and just being ready to run a PR every single time, and ready to hopefully qualify for the national championships again.
Now, what are your personal goals for the outdoor season?
My personal goal would definitely be to win the 400 at conference, the 400 hurdles at conference, probably the New England Championship in the 400 hurdles, and then I would love to be All-American in the 400 hurdles as well.
Now, how do you think the team will stack up against a tough NE10 competition?
I think that this outdoor season, we definitely have a lot to learn from indoor season, so I think that we can only get better from here on out. We definitely have a lot more focus going into outdoor. Indoor is kind of like a training session, and so for outdoor, it's going to be just really exciting to see like where our freshmen go, because we have a lot of really good, really talented freshmen. So I'm just excited to see like what happens and how we can move up.
Like you said, you have a lot of talented freshmen now. What advice would you give them now that you're a senior, you're moving out, and what would you tell them going forward?
Yeah, I would just say trust the process, trust the coaches. I know that that's something that we talk about a lot, is just like understanding that it's a 4-year plan, and it's not all going to happen in 1 year. Like, I was nowhere near where I am now my freshman year. So I would just say, like, stick it out, believe in yourself, go into everything that you do confident, and really it's a lot of the little things, like I was talking about, all those small details that nobody really pays attention to, that really makes a good athlete great.
Yeah, it all sounds good. Thank you for being with us today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. Riley was definitely a star this indoor season. What are you guys expecting to see from her in this upcoming outdoor season?
Tons and tons of W's all day, every day. But she's got some really high expectations, as she said in her interview, and I expect her to hit most of those expectations during this upcoming season.
Want to see a lot of PRs broken. I mean, she said she was surprised that she won the 400 and the 500. Then keep surprising us. Let's keep getting these W's and break records, and welcome to warm weather in the outdoor season.
That would be absolutely great for the Chargers. I think that would be a really good step. And like she said in her interview, there's tons of young freshmen on this team that are really talented. For them to see someone who has done it, who has gotten that championship, who's older than them, then they'll be able to see that they can do it too.
I mean, like she said, it's not going to come right away. You got to put in the work, and you see in 4 years or whatever, maybe even sooner, if you put in the work, like she said, trust the process. The wins will come, and you'll break your PRs.
Very true. And like Eric said, having a role model like her on the team will just help this Chargers women's track and field team just reach that next level and become one of the best programs in the NE10. Stay tuned for continued coverage of the track and field teams this upcoming year. Chargers softball went 3-1 this weekend, including a doubleheader sweep at home against Bentley. Eric, what did you see from the team this week?
Great pitching. Stonebreaker and Butts had it this whole weekend. They were amazing, and the team is going to really have success between these two, Butts and Stonebreaker. That's where the team success is
Going to go through them.
Yeah. I think on the momentum spectrum right now, I think they're starting to get it together. They're clicking on offense, clicking on defense. Pitching has been great, and I think we're going to start seeing some wins.
Yeah, as the weather starts heating up, softball team's going to heat up. I mean, we saw Tori Shebe she had twos all over the place. She went 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs in the game yesterday.
Yeah, Maddie DeRose also went 1 for 3 with a double and 3 RBIs. So she's been contributing also.
Get the offense going, help out those 2 great pitchers.
It's also a good sign to see that they're starting to get on this kind of hot streak as the NE10 play starts to begin. So they're showing that against their own conference teams, they can definitely put up some runs and some wins. What do you guys think about this as a sign for later on in the season?
Yeah, I think that's key, because once you start playing these teams and you're hot, it could go all the way to the NE10 championship. So they learned from their mistakes in Tennessee. Now they're building on that, and it's great looking forward.
Defense wins championships. Never forget that. Defense has been stronger these last couple of games.
Very true. The women will play Pace at home on Tuesday with first pitch set for 2 p.m. Women's lacrosse lost 2 games last week against ranked teams, putting their record at an even 3-3. Chris, how can the team improve in their upcoming games?
Well, the team can improve on defense. The past 2 games, the defense has been subpar, and it's been hurting the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. 19 goals given up at Delphi, and they only scored 4, but 2 should have probably counted, but we won't talk about that. But, yes, the defense has got to be stronger. They got to pull it together.
They've been playing down too often now, and like you said, the offense is suffering, and they can't. It's hard when you're down by that so and so many goals. It's hard to come back and get the offense going because now you got to worry about we're gonna stop giving up goals, and it's tough to put that together. I mean, they'll get it together. It's still early in the season. Sam Galler had 2 goals the other day against Adelphi, and they're still going. They'll get it together.
Yeah, against Adelphi. Their defense was actually pretty good at the beginning of the game. They held Adelphi to the new 90-second shot clock. They held them down to 5 seconds, and then they turned it over, and they were able to get on offense. But they weren't able to hold the ball. They weren't able to keep the ball away from Adelphi, and that was key because then when Adelphi got the ball back, their transition defense suffered, and they just kept scoring.
Yeah,
Adelphi is always a difficult team, too, to play as they're number 2 in the country. They're just part of this. NE10 has always been known as one of the most difficult leagues in the country, and when it comes to women's lacrosse, and we were able to see that in real life when we went back to back with Merrimack and couldn't come out with a win there either. Who were some performances there that you guys noticed?
Well, against Merrimack, Caroline Mahar had 4 goals, her 4th hat trick of the season, and we had Mackenzie Ray also had 2 goals. So the offense is still gonna be there.
It's still evolving.
Yeah, it's still
waiting
Mambo number 5. Everybody's contributing, but it relies on the defense and to get them the ball.
And they need more ball control because, like you said before, they don't have too much ball control, and then the transition defense suffers. They need just like in football, just like have control the ball. You can dictate the game.
Well, because they've shown when they can get on offense and give Jess Maslia a chance to find some people on the offensive end, she usually does, as she's still top 3 in the NE10 in assists this season. So if they can get their defensive games together, they can definitely start putting up some goals and big numbers on some teams that went further down in the NE10 schedule.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing they need right now is to have like a blowout win, so to get their confidence back, get everything clicking. But on the other hand, they're going up to Lemoyne to play them on Wednesday, and that's a ranked team which they always struggle against.
Again, Lemoyne is part of that top 5 team, another top 5 team within the NE10. So this is just a very difficult section also in the schedule for
powerhouses.
With the 3 teams in the top 25 in the rankings, 2 of which are top 10 teams in the entire country.
Yeah, last season when we played them, again they went down from behind. Then they had to battle back. They got into, I think, within 2 goals, but then they ran out of time. So I think over the current stretch, that will probably happen again against Lemoyne. But if they get it together, I think
they'll rally.
They could rally, and they could possibly win this game.
They've definitely shown they have the firepower that, given if their defense can hold up, that this team can stack up against any team within the country in D2 women's lacrosse. The women will look to get back on track Wednesday when they travel up to Lemoyne to play the Dolphins. That's all for the Charge Up. Make sure to follow us on social media and tune into the Charger Bulletin News on Fridays. For Devin Maida, Christy Geronimo, and Eric Nybro, I'm James Cassidy, and we'll see you next week on the Charge Up.